Alpa Doshi and welcome to my channel on sessions for OCM with Alpa. As you already know, on my channel Alpa Doshi, I have a series of videos to help you with HSC board exam guidelines. These guidelines are especially important for both the 11 and 12 standard. As you already know, I have a series of videos posted on my channel Alpa Doshi, basically on the new HSC syllabus, the application-based test or the internal test, the new paper pattern. This year, there is a part of the syllabus which is deleted. So there's a special video on the deleted syllabus. Also, depending on the weightage or that each chapter carries, we have discussed a lot of important topics. There's a special video on objective type question, presentation tape. This particular video is for the theory presentation tips. I'm also going to post several videos on important parts of the syllabus, how to use old paper patterns, and all latest updates and instructions which are relevant for HSC students. So to begin with, let's start with a brief overview of a detailed instruction that the paper pattern or the paper presentation should be considered while you're answering the paper. Before we start, let us take a look at the new question paper pattern that we have. As we already know, 3 hours, 18 marks. The video on objective type has detailed discussion on all these 10 types which you see on the screen. So if you haven't yet taken a look at it, please do watch the detailed video on how to answer each of these 10 types. There are certain which are important for the application-based test, and we presume the rest are important for the theory paper. So please do subscribe, share, and give your comments on the kind of queries that you have so I can make more and more such videos for you all. In this particular video, I'm going to start with question number 2 and move on up to the last part of the question. So please watch the video until the end, where we're going to have a very important tip on the important question under long answer. So as we move ahead, the second part of the question paper has case studies. The usual distinguish between, there is this short note type of answer, that is question number 5 and 7. There's a slightly different type this year called the justify and the good old long answer. If you notice, your question paper is going to be totally set for 116 marks, whereas the actual marks that you will be, the paper is allotted is 80 marks. The choice compared to the previous papers has gone down, but at the same time, there is not much to worry if you really studied well. So to begin with, we have a just quick recap of the first question, that is the objective type. In all, it carries 20 marks. You're going to have any of the 4 types out of the 10 types recommended by the board. And each year, naturally, the combination will be different from now on. So as we know, this is a particular question where there's absolutely no choice. So even if you're leaving some part of the syllabus for choice, you must do the objective questions of that particular part, as there is no choice, no option in objective type. Also, whenever you are attempting solving, please make sure you do not change the order of the questions. They have to be in the same order as they have been asked in the question paper. Don't make it confusing for the examiners. Also, leave lines in between, make it clear if your handwriting is not very neat. Especially, please make sure that your presentation is such that it's very comfortable and easy to read out. So leave lines maybe between 2 answers. Whatever are your answers, please underline and box them, and that will make your answer really neat. Also, make sure that you're writing the numbers very clearly. Some students just don't write numbers. It's not at all right. Throughout the paper, please make sure that you mention in the question numbers always. So that's a recap of the objective video that I have done. We now talk about this particular video where we're going to discuss all the theory questions at length. If you talk about explain the term or concept, each answer carries 2 marks. This is quite similar to actually an objective type question. If you will see under objective type, you have something called the answer in one sentence, which carries 1 mark. So when you're studying answer in one sentence, you must also try and finish your preparations for explain term or concept. At the same time, every long answer or short answer that you start, that you're going to write, will have a short introduction at the beginning. So if you see when you're preparing for answer in one sentence, or it is also, you're also preparing for explain the term or concept, you're also preparing for the short answers, points and distinction, as well as your long answer. So let's see some of the basic things you must note down here. Not more than 6 or max 8 lines. When you are attempting this, sometimes students are really confused. What am I supposed to write? It could be any 2 of these things that you see on the screen. It could be meaning and an important feature. It could be definition and examples. Anything which kind of explains that particular commercial term or that concept. Let us say you're talking, the question is about explain the term of organizing. So we're talking about chapter number 2. You have management function of organizing. So you start with the meaning of organizing. It's identifying, grouping. You could even say that how activities have to be organized, how they're going to be carried out. So start with the, if you will see every concept, every new topic being covered, you have to mark while you are studying. Make it a point that you're going to make your markings of what am I going to write if I get 1 mark answer on this, what am I going to write if I get a 2 marks explain term or concept. And this particular part will also be useful in answering your short notes or even your long answer. So all in all, this particular markings have to be done while you are preparing for that particular topic. Keep it in mind that you have to have this preparation done. So you have to prepare for answer in one sentence, explain term or concept, as well as the beginning of a short note and a long answer. So this pattern will really help you. These markings will be so, because sometimes the answers could be very long. We don't want them to be very long. Please keep them brief. So we have another very tip, like all other answers, you must underline some of the keywords and don't be really very elaborate. Don't make it tedious for the examiner. It's just a 2 marks answer. Going to the third one, a new type. Here we have study the case and express your opinion. Under this particular topic, you will see that basically we have, say for example, 3 questions will be given, a paragraph will be given, and this is, I would say, quite similar to an objective type. So when you're going to start reading the paragraph, first thing, try and identify which chapter it is from. Once you're done with that, the answers are going to be really very simple. Naturally, all the 3 questions that you have to answer for total 3 marks, each question will carry 1 mark, and each answer is definitely going to be, all the 3 are going to be from the same chapter, obviously. The answer is expected to be in a sentence form. Don't make it a big paragraph and be brief, but don't just write a few words. Also try out of the entire sentence, whichever is your important part of your answer, try and box that. If possible, if your speed is good enough, try and solve an extra question here, and the highest scoring out of the 3 will be considered by the examiner. Going to the 4th type, distinguish between, it's something which we've always done, nothing different, but there's a special pattern of things which we expect in the HSC board. Try and make sure that you follow these minute instructions. Make sure that you're going to write minimum 7 points, because now the distinction is not for 5 marks and it is for 7 marks. Though some might recommend that we just need to write 4 or 5 points, but trust me, more the better. If possible, if you don't have the time and your speed is not good enough, maybe you could just write the head points. But try and see if you could really squeeze in 7 points. Do not just write 1 word on either side. Please write a good explanation on both the sides. So don't just write the head point and say, for example, you say membership and you write the number of members of district forum 3 and 5 on National Commission. Do not do that. So try and write it in sentence form, give titles to each point, If possible, like economics, please start with the meaning of that topic. Whenever you're writing a distinction, draw a very neat and tidy table. As I said, if your handwriting is not very good, adding these elements of neatness make your paper a little more, attractive to the examiner. One important part, some students sometimes change the left and the right side, interchange the distinguished. Do not do that. Examiners are used to a particular, the same way that it's there in the question paper. So please have 4 parts in the table. First, start with the serial number. So number your points that you're mentioning. Give a head point, a title to each and every question is definitely expected. Plus, whatever is on the left side must be written to the left and the others to the right. So do not change that. Once again, keywords could become very important if highlighted. Also, if you're continuing on the second page, if you're turning the page and you continue your distinction, please do inform or give indication to the examiner that the answer is not yet over and you still have to read the next part before you allot the marks to it. So please do that. It saves a lot of hassle for the examiners. Moving on to the next question. If you see question number 5, as well as question number 7, are quite similar. Both are in fact nothing but short notes. The difference is question number 5, answer in brief, carries 4 marks each, and you have to attempt any 2 out of 3. And question number 7 carries 5 marks each. The good news is the 4 marks question, that is the answer in brief, will be coming along with an instruction, explain any 4 features, give 4 importance, or explain 4 principles. However, the same question could also be asked for attempt to the following, and there you do not have any guideline of any 4 or any 5. So you will have to, and you are expected to write a longer answer. So please balance while you are studying that what you're going to write in case you're getting this for 4 marks, and how you're going to answer it in case you're getting 5 marks. So this is how you will start your answer. Please give some introduction. If they're asking you any particular topic, please don't just directly go to the answer. Write some introduction and write a heading. Okay, this is what makes your paper stand out. Also mention the act, the author, and then go to the main part of the answer. I understand that we may not have a lot of time, but I'm sure a small attempt might definitely make your paper, maybe a brief. So while you're preparing, while you're writing your answer in 1 sentence, while you're preparing for explain the term, you can also prepare about how you're going to write your answer in brief, how you're going to start with that. So apart from this, we see that your answers in OCM, teachers are always used to checking in answers with point form. Try and see if you can squeeze in 8 head points in the main answer. Explain them maybe in your own words, but a use of commercial terms is definitely expected. Don't expect that writing in your own words doesn't mean that you're going to skip the technical terms. Each time when you are doing your first revision, your second revision, please keep highlighting on certain important words and make sure that you use them and you get habituated to answering with these terms which have been actually put in your syllabus. So own words is definitely fine, but commercial terms have to be included in your answers. Going ahead with the 6th question. A slight change from the old pattern which said true or false with reason. The difference is this year it is true sentences and give reasons. So the sentence which is going to be quoted is only and only a true sentence. It's a correct statement. You just have to find out the different areas from which you will put the reasons together. So in this particular question, I would recommend you would rewrite the statement which has been given and the one which you are attempting. There are going to be 4 in the question paper and you're expected to solve any 2 of these. Now, the format to answer this would be you start with, once again, the same meaning definition which you've studied for explain term or concept. Also, while you're giving the reasons, sometimes, as far as possible, try and make it in a point form. Do not write paragraphs in this part. Also, make it a habit while you're preparing. There are certain 10 to 15 justify statements which are important in the syllabus. I will be posting a video on these important justify statement questions. And that practice is very, very essential because this is one question where students tend to lose marks. So please be careful and make sure that you follow these instructions. Remember that this sometimes may not be a really direct question. It's basically an application-based type of a question, and it might be required that you have to pack up 2 or 3 different points from different parts in that topic and form your answer. So while you're preparing, do look into the important justify statements and accordingly prepare for them. Also, if you see the sample here, when we're talking about e-business, it's easier to set up than traditional business. These answers you will definitely find in the old papers in true or false reason question, and that will definitely help you to prepare for your particular board exam. So you do have some reference material. It's not like this paper pattern is going to be the first time. So please do refer to the old papers and you will definitely be helped. Once again, the last important question, which now carries 8 marks. You will be given 2 questions. You have to choose any one of them. The very important question which all of us have in mind is which chapter are we going to get the long answer from? So considering 2 important factors. Number 1, the chapter-wise weightage of marks. Number 2, the entire paper pattern which has been given. So depending on these 2 factors, I have prepared several blueprints. That is the number of, the type of questions which can come from a particular chapter. I will be making a video on these blueprints for the students. I have prepared PDFs and shared with several teachers in the Maharashtra State Board. And these are just sample blueprints, and that will give you an idea of which chapter you're going to get distinctions from, which chapter we expect short notes, which chapter we have case study, and of course, the $1,000,000 question of which chapter are we going to get the long answer from. So if you will see in this particular paper pattern, we have a probable long answer question from the question number 8, the A part. So you're going to have 1 out of 2 to be solved. The E part is definitely from business services. The reason being this chapter has been allotted 27 marks. And compared to all the other chapters, with option, this is the only question which we can have for a long answer. Now this part, fortunately, out of the 5 business services, 2 have been deleted this year. And so you're left with insurance, banking, and warehousing. The chances of getting a long answer on warehousing are very minimal. In all probabilities, this year, we are going to get a long answer, question number A, either from insurance or from banking. Remember, students, if you're doing a long answer from this chapter, meaning you don't really need to worry about the long answers of either functions of management or marketing, which does not mean much because you have to prepare your other short notes and short answers from these chapters. But yes, knowing that chapter 4 is what you are going to get an 8 marks long answer from definitely helps. One important note I would like to make, if you attempt your chapter 2 long answer, whatever, either the chapter 2 or chapter 8, your paper stands out of the other hundreds that the teachers are correcting. In any case, really doesn't make a difference. What format you have to follow is this. You start with introduction, meaning, definition, all that you've studied and answer in 1 sentence. All that you've prepared for the objectives. all that you have studied for explain term or concept is all going to be useful here. You start your answer with this and then go on to the main content. It could be the different types. The question could include what are the types of life insurance policies. The question could be on what are the features of Consumer Protection Act. Of course, you don't have a long answer from that. What are the functions of organizing? So different types of questions which we expect here, or maybe principles of insurance. So any particular, that is the main part. It must have at least 8 to 10 points. Remember, suppose the question is define insurance, explain the principles of insurance. It is 2 marks of definition and 6 marks of principles. Define organizing, explain the importance of organizing. It is 2 plus 6. So this is how your answer appears. Now there is a very important part that students miss is the paragraph, is the part on conclusion. Like you have an essay. This is the same similar pattern that you have to follow in this question, which is also called an essay type question. Give a conclusion of whatever you presented. Say, for example, you mentioned all the principles of insurance. You can conclude by, thus, the above principles lay a guideline for the insurer and the insured to ensure that there are no disputes in the contract of insurance. So some recap of this type while you are studying, make sure, keep it in your mind that what if I have to, how am I going to conclude the answer? Somewhere in your textbook, you could just mark a particular part, or maybe you can actually make a note there as conclusion and write it down while you're revising. So dear students, this is all that we have in your theory paper. Please do write your comments and let me know if you have any such queries. I plan to prepare many more such videos. So please do share, subscribe, and press the bell icon so you get notified each time I post a new video. So thank you very much for watching. And as you see, this was a quick recap of your entire question paper pattern. I've discussed 2 videos on objective types and this one on theory questions. There are several more, so do log in, spread the word around and let me know of the difficulties and queries that you have. Thank you very much for today.